Well, hello, my friends. Today we're going to talk about how to make more money with your art, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. But first, I'm Beth English, and I'm here with my good friend Sergio Gomez. Hi, Sergio.
Hi, Beth. Good to see you. How are you? Great topic today.
Yeah, I just got off of a podcast interview about financial independence, and so I've got money on the brain, literally. And so a lot of what we talked about doesn't really have to do with the things that you do to make more money. It's more about how you think about how to make money. And so I thought this was a really great topic today because oftentimes our businesses, they can operate at the level, at whatever mindset level that we're currently operating from. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that common things that artists come across when it comes to building their business, and maybe it'll help them in the long run to make more money without having to learn from their mistakes. So
I love it. I think it's going to be one of those great episodes with a lot of our friends. We'd love to go back and check and share with their friends.
yes, because who doesn't want to make more money? We all do, right? And as an artist, I think it's really important to think about how you're making money, because oftentimes one of the biggest mistakes I see artists making is selling work that is too of a low, like has a low price, because they're only attracting communities of people or collectors who only have a little bit of money to share. And so that over time is a really big struggle. That's a big hill to climb if you want to make a living off of selling artwork at a low price. So one of the things that I think is the most important to get started with is pricing your work at a level that is attracting collectors and not just people who can barely afford art.
hmm No, I love that one, and I think that's is one of the, I think probably one of the main obstacles and one that most artists struggle with. How to price your artwork, and we had talked about this before too. And
Mm-hmm.
this idea of we always as artists we tend to underprice ourselves. Rarely we
Yes.
overprice it. Mostly, by default, we underprice it. And yeah, that leads to struggles as well. I'm always thinking that as an artist, you should have various price points, maybe small, medium, and large, if you were
Mm-hmm.
to think in those terms. So you have work that's for a price point that is affordable for those who that's all they can get. But then you also have the price points that allow you to reach the next level of collectors.
But before you can make decisions about those price points, I think a lot of artists face imposter syndrome. And that's just acknowledging the fact that you are talented, you do create, you do make work, and it is for sale. But for how much? That's always the big question. And so if you can just overcome the idea that, you are good enough, you do have a talent, you do have work to produce, you have a community of people who are interested, you have to put yourself out in a way that is really confident. And confidence is led by the way that you think and feel about yourself. And so if you're not confident about your art, then you're not going to be confident about your prices. And then you're not going to be confident in the sales process. And it's probably going to hurt your sales in the long run. So beyond just like what you price your work, but be confident about the offer that you're putting out there and know that you're worth it. Because oftentimes I see artists say, well, it costs this much, but I'll give it to you for that much. They're already discounting their work when a collector hasn't even asked for it. And I don't think that's not the right direction that we should be pointed in.
hmm Yeah, absolutely. I think confidence is big, and like it all starts in the studio, right? It all starts before anybody has seen it. If you have no confidence on it, you as you said, you're gonna struggle with the press. You're gonna struggle with the marketing. It's not gonna come as natural as it should be, and yeah, it just you can count one after the other after the other. What starts here it affects everything else that happens after that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the confidence is such a big one, and I think super important for us to believe, like you said, believe in the work that we're doing. Be mindful of the realities of how the work lives in the world. You don't want to also, all of a sudden now your work is, $200,000, where that becomes on the other side of the equation. Be realistic. Learn, understand the dynamics of where you are in the world, what you have to offer, what's the market where you're at, and then value your work accordingly to those sets.
Right. And I think a lot of artists, they price their work at what they could afford or what people in their community can afford. But we have to
Right.
break out of that. So I think it's important to go to art shows and go to events where collectors are going to be hanging out and spending money and get an idea of what that world is like beyond our own familiar, right? So if, for example, you have, artwork for sale and your community is buying it, well, Well, what if you raised your prices and brought it in front of a new audience, and a new audience that you maybe went out and discovered on your own, or a gallery that, you know, attracts a certain type of collector? Like, there's definitely a stair step that we as artists have to work towards. But I think positioning yourself in the beginning as someone who is worthy of being collected, just in your mind, you're worthy of being collected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that can break through a lot of
Right.
blocks that I think that we set up for ourselves, or maybe they're blocks that we've had for a really long time that have been keeping us down. I know for a long time I didn't value my work as much as I should. I spent way too much time and energy on it. I was trying to make it perfect and wonderful and great, and yet at the end of the day I was still charging too little for it. And it wasn't until I decided to start charging a lot more from my art and started seeking out new types of collectors that I started seeing wild success. And so I think that there's just a lot of different ways that we can think about our work, but I think it's really important if we just believe that we're worthy of being collected.
Mm-hmm.
And then putting ourselves out in front of the right audience who actually has the money to collect you. And, and I know some of you are probably like, I don't even understand how that could even possibly be a reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just have to keep showing up for yourself, right, and putting yourself in new situations, surrounding yourself with new people. I mean, if you're an artist and you're just starting out and you want to sell your work for a lot of money, well, why don't you go try and like intern for an artist who's already doing that? And then you're learning about their business and you're learning about how they do it. I mean, then you start to see what possibilities are out there. But unless you put yourself in those vulnerable positions to see what's possible, then you're just going to stay like blindly, like going on your own path. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. And that was great, because that is so true. And for many artists, you know, it becomes this kind of narrow focus of, this is my lane and I better stay in my lane, and that's it. You know, everybody's in a different lane. But no, you know, there's, we, before the episode, we talk about, you know, whatever you put your mind, it grows, right? Whatever you focus on, it will grow. And when you focus on the right things, and making sure that your artwork continues to grow with you along the way, you know, it's so important. And, you know, the idea of the collectors, right? You know, where do I find collectors? Well, collectors are everywhere. You know, collectors are, you know, sometimes people that you would have not imagined, because nobody walks around with a name tag says, hello, my name is art collector, right? So you never know. Maybe the person you were talking about yesterday, who's a business owner, you went to pick something up. Who knows if he or she loves art and has a house full of art. But just starting those conversations with everyone you find, that's how you find people. I always tell artists, you know, when you sell art, you sell it to one person at a time, right? Mm-hmm. We're not manufacturing like thousands of little things that you send to the masses. You know, it's one person at a time who's going to buy that work of art. So it's a business, people, you know, it's, and you have to approach people. You have to meet with people. You have to connect with people online and offline. We're, you know, still exiting the pandemic. So a lot of online conversations should be happening right now.
Mm-hmm. And if that's uncomfortable for you, you're not alone. So one thing that I really recommend you do is maybe do a little role play. I know that when I work with artists in my coaching program, sometimes we do a little role play where I pretend like I'm a collector and then they talk to me, and then we just kind of work out where they're not maybe 100% sure of what to say or how to approach it. And that helps them feel more confident. So slowly but surely, we're like adding our value and growing our confidence, and, you know, realizing that there are price points out there that some people will not even flinch at. While there's other prices out there that are really low, people are like, oh, I can't pay that. Well, that's not the type of collector you want anyway. So don't even worry about that person, right? Focus on the end goal. And that's connecting with people who are going to want to just give you their money, right? And just visualize that, right? And so anytime I'm working with an artist or I'm buying something from an artist, I want them to have that experience, right? Where it's like this no fuss, no hassle. I'm going to pay you your worth kind of experience. And a lot of times I would pay double, you know? And so I think that's what we forget, is that when people buy our art, like, they want to support us. They love us. They just feel overjoyed by what we're doing with our lives, and that they can have a little piece of that. And there's value there. So it's not just about the canvas and the paint. It's about the whole experience that we bring to the world with our energy and our gifts. And so don't underestimate that. Like, there's so much value there. So just remember to put yourself in situations where you're around people that are helping you grow out of that imposter syndrome and increase your confidence. and give you a better framework for your pricing so that you're doing it more strategically instead of passively, and that you're just setting yourself up for success. So those are my tips for
Absolutely.
today about how to make more money as an artist.
I love it. Thank you, Beth, for bringing those, those great ideas, great reminders. It's always good to, to think about those things, right? As we manage our career, as we look at the future of our career, and
Mm-hmm.
put our mindset, in the right place to be able to succeed.
Exactly. So, Sergio, where can our friends find you online so that they can watch more of your content, see your videos, and learn from all the amazing people that you connect with?
Awesome. So you can find me. The best place is on Instagram, Sergio Gomez Art. That's where you will find me every day doing all kinds of all kinds of stuff, my content, my art, and my shows and everything else. So check it out, Sergio Gomez Art. How about you, Beth?
Awesome. You guys can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Beth English. I would love to connect with you. If you've got questions about your art or your pricing, please just email me. I'd love to see what you're making. I'd love to give you any advice that I can help you with. And just know that I'm here to help you remove those blocks to become free in your creative self so that you can have the confidence that you need to truly thrive.
Super. Absolutely. Well, thank you, my friends. Thank you for watching.
See you next week.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.